Hello, my name is Judge Bryan Arnold. I am the presiding judge for the City of Grand Prairie and a magistrate for the purpose of providing you with a magistrate's adult warnings on this video. The video will include a detailed discussion of certain rights and warnings which, under the law, you are entitled to hear as a person in custody. I encourage you to listen carefully. After the video concludes, you will appear before a magistrate to discuss your charges and will have the opportunity to ask any relevant questions you might have. You have the right to remain silent. You are not required to make a statement. Any statement you make may be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to request that the court appoint an attorney to represent you on any charges which may result in punishment by confinement. In other words, on any charges where the potential punishment includes jail time. Class C misdemeanors or tickets are fine-only offenses. As such, you generally would not be eligible to have a court-appointed attorney on these cases unless the court otherwise concludes that the interest of justice require representation. If you are eligible for and request a court-appointed attorney, you will be given paperwork or forms to fill out regarding your finances. Should you need help in completing those forms, reasonable assistance will be provided to you. You have the right to have a reasonable time and opportunity to consult with your attorney prior to any adversarial proceedings in your case. You have the right to have an attorney present both prior to and during any interview or questioning by peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have a right to terminate the interview or questioning at any time. If you are charged with a felony, you have the right to an examining trial. You have the right to a public trial by either a judge or a jury. You have a right to discovery under Chapter 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure to review all evidence against you. If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or no contest may result in deportation, the exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Also, pursuant to the Vienna Convention, if you are not a U.S. citizen, upon request, you may have the consular officials from your home country notified of your arrest or detention. And if you are a citizen of certain specific countries, consular officials will be notified of your arrest or detention without further action required on your part. If you are convicted of a misdemeanor offense involving family violence where you are or were a spouse, intimate partner, parent, or guardian of the victim, or are or were involved in another similar relationship with the victim, it may be unlawful for you to possess or purchase a firearm, including a handgun or long gun, or ammunition, pursuant to federal law under 18 U.S.C. Section 922 G9 or Section 46.04B of the Texas Penal Code. If you have any questions whether these laws make it illegal for you to possess or purchase a firearm, you should consult an attorney. In the event you're charged with Grand Prairie Class C misdemeanors or tickets that have not been adjudicated, you will be asked to enter a plea. You, of course, have the right to plead not guilty because you have the right to a trial. If that is your plea, you will be released from custody on that charge and should appear at the Grand Prairie Municipal Court to schedule the case for further proceedings. If you wish to plead guilty or no contest on your Class C case today, you must first waive a trial by jury and filing of a complaint, your right to discovery, your right to the confrontation of witnesses, and the right to present witnesses in your own behalf and instead submit the case to the court on all issues of law and fact. You must also consent to the use of video conference pursuant to Article 27.18A of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Upon a guilty or no contest plea, a conviction will be entered against you and a fine will be imposed. The fine will be reduced by the amount of any jail credit due, and you will then be released from custody to appear at the Grand Prairie Municipal Court to make arrangements to satisfy the remaining fines and costs. Your options for satisfying these include either payment in full, arranging for an installment or payment plan, or if you believe you are indigent or are unable to pay, you may request to satisfy the fines and costs through the performance of community service pursuant to Chapter 45.049 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. You should also be aware that in the event you plead guilty or no contest while you're in jail, you have the right to file a motion for new trial. If the motion is filed not more than 10 days after the rendition of the judgment and sentence, it will be granted and your plea will be withdrawn. If you have questions about either the rights that have been explained to you or about your charges, please address those to the magistrate appearing before you. After you speak to the magistrate, you will be presented with documents for you to sign. You will, of course, have the opportunity to review those documents before signing. Also, please recall that you are in court and conduct yourself accordingly. Thank you for your attention.